We're not just going to let somebody come in here and take our house without a fight.
Confusion and anger are plaguing residents of some mobile home parks in the metro tonight. People who live in Brookwood, Countryside Estates, and Riviera Heights got a letter saying the trailer courts have been sold and the rent is going up.
And that's not all. Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer spoke with some of these whistleblowers and found there's more to the story.
There's something wrong and we're all here to help each other. I think it's one of the last places in Fargo that's like that.
It's that sense of community that has made living in the Countryside Estate so enjoyable for Ashley Schaefer. She's been here for about 6 years now and had no plans to leave anytime soon. But that all changed when she got a letter in the mail she wasn't suspecting.
We love each other, and that's why this is so heartbreaking to everybody.
It says a mobile home park was bought by Utah company Haven Park Capital. It goes on to say the rent will be rising by $45 a month, and there's more to the story.
They're going to put some meters in here and start charging us for our water.
Schaefer tells us utilities such as water and heat used to be included in their rent, but that's all changing. And now residents like Schaefer are worried about the bill they're going to be left with each month.
That's kind of, significant, especially with these lower income, families around here.
This man we talked to lives in the Brookwood community. He didn't want to show his face on camera, though, because he was scared of getting evicted. But just like Schaefer, he says he intends to fight this.
I have to find another means of income, too.
Some of the residents we talked to tell us they are turning to city halls in both Fargo and West Fargo looking for answers and help. We also talked with the trailer court's new owners about the concerns these residents brought to us. They tell us while this money will go towards upgrades like fixing roads, new signage, and a playground, they also say it will go towards brand new homes in some of these communities. But some of the residents we talked to here say they're worried that dishing out this extra money each month could force them to find a new home. In the Fargo, West Fargo area, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
The rent increase goes into effect on October 1st. By the way, we asked Fargo officials about the average cost of utilities for residents in mobile homes per month. They tell us it can come to about $45, not including heat. If you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case.
The cleanup continues after last night's storm. Large trees were snapped, power lines coming down, and for some, the strong winds even damaged buildings. The roof at Steffes Group Inc. ended up in the middle of Main Avenue in West Fargo. Despite that, all computers and electronics inside were spared, and they say the large amount of cleanup will set the business back a bit.
I mean, we're busy this time of year with farm auctions and stuff, and setup crew and stuff is here cleaning instead of out at a farm. Getting ready for auctions and stuff. So it's definitely a small setback, but it'll be okay.
Steffes says it's still unclear just how much the damage will end up costing them.
We are still seeing some power outages in our area from last night's storms. According to this latest look from Xcel Energy, more than 350 people in Fargo are without power. It looks like power in other areas affected by the storm has been completely restored. At the peak of the storm, more than 22,500 Xcel Energy customers in Grand Forks lost power. Around 2,300 people in Jamestown were also without power, as were 642 people in Cass County and 600 people in the Otter Tail Lakes area as well.
The storm also knocked out some traffic lights. Drivers should remember that when traffic signals are down, intersections should be treated as four-way stops. You shouldn't assume that you have the right of way, and you should try to make eye contact with other drivers if possible. Flashing red lights should be treated like stop signs, and flashing yellow lights means that you should proceed with caution.
Well, here's hoping that tonight's weather is far less active. We could use a break. Hutch is here with your no-wait weather. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. That wind from the north-northwest has really cooled things off today. Here's a look at some of the peak gusts we saw. They approached 40 miles per hour in Jamestown, Cooperstown, and Grand Forks, and over 30 miles per hour in Lakes Country. Hey, I wanted to point out a few peaks at blue in the sky as our deck of gray skies starting to break apart as we head into the evening hours. The clearing will take place from west to east. Still a chance for spotty passing sprinkles. Look at these temperatures. Baudette, mid-50s right now, while it's in the mid-70s in Mobridge. For Fargo, tonight, breezy through sunset with gusts over 15 miles per hour possible. We'll slip quickly into the low 50s by bedtime. Looks like clouds and low 50s as well in Grand Forks by bedtime. So how low will our temperatures go, and when will the sun make a reappearance? I'll have details on all of that here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so that you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.
Thief River Falls police need your help finding two men. They're looking for Matthew Stengrim, who's wanted on a felony probation violation and for escaping from custody. They're also on the lookout for James Morin, who is wanted for felony probation violation.
Today,
First day enrollment in Moorhead is up. 7,066 students showed up for school today. That gave the district its highest opening day enrollment since 1972. Fourth graders make up the biggest class with 622. Over the past 5 years, the district has added more than 1,000 new students.
today was the first day of school in East Grand Forks, and 4 lucky students showed up with their backpacks and back up. 5-year-old Bryson and 6-year-old Parker were driven to Sacred Heart in the squad car of School Resource Officer Gunderson this morning, while 5-year-old Adeline and 7-year-old Aubrey were taken to New Heights School. The students were chosen as part of a social media contest put on by the police department to make their first day a special one.
It isn't only children heading off to class in Moorhead today. Police say Officer Johnson and his canine Cash are also getting into school. They'll be training for the next 10 weeks. Meanwhile, in Grand Forks, there's a moose on the loose. It's on UND's campus. Maybe the animal was hoping to try out for the football team because it's taken to the outdoor practice field. UND police say that they are hoping to return it to the wild where it came from.
A local animal rescue group is preparing to head south to rescue animals affected by Hurricane Dorian. The Turtle Mountain Animal Rescue Group says volunteers are leaving for the trip tomorrow, and they aren't the only ones preparing to step in and help communities in distress.
Jewish response to disaster.
We took about a third of all of our tools and equipment to Dorian.
The Burnsville-based nonprofit has the tools needed.
We also go through a lot of masks like this
to help after a natural disaster.
We focus on tornadoes, floods, and hurricanes is most of our work.
Executive Director David Kaplan says after a disaster, they focus mostly on lower income communities. Volunteers do everything from clearing trees to muck and gut work on homes touched by floodwaters.
Most of the folks we're assisting, if they were to do this on their own and pay someone to come, it would be anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000. We do it for free.
In the last 2 years, Nahama has responded to every major hurricane in the U.S.
Nahama means comfort in Hebrew. We're not a religious organization. We're based on a Jewish concept called Tikkun Olam, which roughly translates to repair the world. This belief that we all have a responsibility to leave the world a better place than we found it.
3 staff members are expected in Atlanta by Tuesday night.
So that gets us in a good position to be able to start planning, reaching out to our volunteers, but also be within that day's drive so we can start assessing the damage and seeing where we want to go ahead and start work.
The track is showing that it's going to hug the coast, which means anywhere on the north end of that storm, you're going to see a lot of storm surge coming in. You're going to see a lot of flooding. And we're anticipating at least 1 month, if not longer, of a deployment into the region to assist.
If you're interested in helping animals in disaster zones with Turtle Mountain Animal Rescue, we have more information online, valleynewslive.com.
Meanwhile, local ambulance crews are already in place to help out with Dorian. EMS workers from Jamestown and other North Dakota and Minnesota cities are preparing to help out with the hurricane disaster relief. We're told that crews arrived safely in Central Florida and are awaiting their orders.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, a family of 3 is temporarily homeless after an early morning fire.
Temperatures reached the mid-60s briefly today with some spotty sprinkles and clouds and wind. It's been a gray one. Likewise, low 60s in Grand Forks. Hey, the sun is looking to make a reappearance to the valley, but so will more showers. Details in your forecast are next.